Welcome all to another episode of the MLDMHI Podcast. We have with here today Dr. Jitesh Thakur. He has done his MD in Homeopathic Psychiatry from Dr. MLDMHI Memorial Homeopathic Institute, Palghar, and currently he is working in the capacity of Community Health Officer at Dr. MLDMHI Memorial Trust, Palghar. So Dr. Jitesh, AI PGET has just got over the entrance exam for MD, and so could you please tell us something about MD homeopathy?
Yeah, MD in homeopathy is basically a post-graduation course of 3 years. At our institute, MLDMHI, we have 6 subjects, 3 homeopathic subjects while 3 allied subjects. Also, after your MD, there is scope in perceiving your future in your academics. Also, you can do a PhD. And more than that, there is always a satisfaction of being a PG, being an MD.
What are the benefits of doing MD in the academic arena, in the clinical arena, in practice, and otherwise?
Usually, while we are doing UG, it is basically a theory-oriented course where even if we are getting clinical experience, it is at an undergraduate level. The benefit is that the experience, the clinical exposure, the clinical cases that we see in different parts, like at our institute, we have a rural setup, we have a semi-urban setup and also urban setup. So we have exposure to all types of cases that can come to a homeopath and to develop as a clinician. So I think MD, every homeopath should do MD.
Every homeopath must pursue MD. Very important message that we have from Dr. Jitesh Thakur over here, someone who has done his MD and he has been into the field of homeopathy and working extensively currently in this field. The next question which I would like to ask is, how does a homeopath prepare for the MD course?
Well, for this I would like to give my example itself. So while I've completed my UG from CMP at Villeparle, and while I was in my 4th year and internship, I had made my mind that I'll be pursuing my MD at Palghar, MLDMHI. While doing so, the preparation begins with your academic part, the entrance exam preparation, and also secondly, many of my seniors were pursuing MD at Palghar. So I was in contact with them and they would tell me that this is what the work culture is, what clinical experience they have and all. So I was preparing myself mentally and physically also by doing my OPD 9 to 2 in the hospital, followed by 2 to 10 my IPD. So that was my preparation, both from entrance point of view, that is the exam point of view, and coming here as well.
See, we get a lot of guidance for MD entrance exam, but this is coming from someone who has actually prepared himself mentally and physically to pursue the work which is required in MD, which we'll be talking about in some time, which is a full-time residential course. You have to work in the hospital, you have to work in the OPD, you have to study, you have to prepare your synopsis, your dissertation. So Dr. Jitesh, talking about MLDMHI, and we have had this myth for quite some time, there is a lot of work that is expected of a student when they pursue their MD at MLDMHI, and it tires them a lot. What would you have to say about that?
Well, basically, the focus of teaching at MLDMHI is action oriented, where you yourself see the cases and you discuss among your batchmates or your colleagues about the cases. So it is rather than like a UG pattern, a theory based, it is more of a practical clinical based preparation for your MD. So that is one point. Secondly, I would like to say that definitely as a clinician you have to evolve. So handling your IPDs, handling your OPDs on daily basis should be a part of your work. 2 days of the week we have IPD and rest 4 days you have OPD. So and every like third Sunday you have a IPD on call. So that is the work culture, and it is not more of strenuous because for a clinician it is not the quantity that matters, and it is always a quality that matters.
See, the word MD comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of
Definitely.
weight. Our counterparts in the allopathic section, they work very hard during their MD years, and it is also expected of us to work that much. Not because it is the work that matters, like Dr. Jitesh said, the quality output that comes from the work is what matters a lot. Do share your thoughts about this in the comment sections with us. Another question about PG at MLDMHI. Is it just academics and IPD and all work and no play, as we say?
Definitely not. It is not the scenario like that. Definitely we have cultural events. We have 3 major cultural events: the freshers, the farewell, and euphoria, that is the annual day. And also we have sport events just a week prior to the annual day. Accompanied with that, we have multiple religious events that occur throughout the year, like the Diwali celebration, the Holi celebration, Dahi Kala, and all stuff. So definitely there is much more. Also, like Palghar is near to sea coast. We have many beaches that one can visit. There are mountains, 2-3 mountains around where you can go to trek. And also the food of Palghar is very famous. So there is a cow gully where one can visit.
Quite the motivation to come to Palghar and pursue your MD, isn't it? Dr. Jitesh, thank you so much for sharing this with us, giving us a little insight into the whole MD course and what is expected of the homeopath to do in the MD course. Any take-home message for the students who are watching right now, and for the parents who are going to admit their child for MD?
Yeah. So firstly, you should be very clear of why you want to pursue the MD. Okay. What are your interests of doing the MD? So that should be very clear. Secondly, what is to be done in the whole procedure of 3 years? That really matters, like I described earlier. So that should be also very clear. And how it is going to be should be mapped well and tracked well, so that you know that how the things will be going about and what you have to take further action. In total, this will definitely make you a better clinician, a better homeopath.
Dr. Jitesh, this is going to be a little off the kind of offbeat question in the podcast. Clinician first or homeopath first?
Quite a tricky question, definitely, but always a clinician first and then a homeopath.
Why is it so?
The master of homeopathy himself was a clinician first and then a homeopath.
Mark this sentence. Again, share your thoughts in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this and tell us the reason why. Quite a helpful, useful interview with Dr. Jitesh. A lot of information that was shared. Do share with us if you want to know anything else in the upcoming podcast, and especially with Dr. Jitesh, any topic that you would like to know. Until then, all of you have a great time. Wishing you all the best for whichever college you decide for your MD. Thank you so much for watching us and sparing the time to see this podcast. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jitesh, for being here with us.